I have no like formal training or uh, like educational background in psychology or any of the sorts. I've listened to at least 2,000 hours of psychology lectures across Spotify and YouTube and neuroscience podcast and neuroscience lectures. And I spent a year in therapy, and I've done introspective writing for on and off for years, and I'm trying my best to make sense of it all. And I know that sometimes life isn't meant to be understood, it's meant to be lived. Now, I spent most of my life with this belief that something was wrong with me, that everyone else had like everything figured out, and it was just me who was like missing something. Like everyone grew up with this one piece, and I was the one defective toy off the line. And I still struggle with this, with this idea that people around me like look at me and they're like, ah, that's what's wrong with him. Like they have this sort of like clairvoyant vision where they can see exactly what's wrong, but it never gets spoken. Someone were to come up to you, like a coworker or a friend, and like, "Hey, man, you sometimes you can be kind of an asshole." It's almost like an internalized belief where like everyone could look at me and be like, "Ah, that's it," but no one would ever be like, "Hey, man, you getting like kind of weird," or you know what I'm saying? And it for a while, it what's the word I'm looking for? It made me hide from the world because through confirmation bias, before I was able to articulate these things and really think through them, I was convinced in my soul that I was broken. Something was wrong with me. And I didn't know what, but I knew something was wrong, or many things was wrong. And I thought I was doing myself and the world around me a service by isolating myself, by retreating into the shadows and just staying there and occasionally coming out and being a fly on the wall. But I didn't want to be seen because I didn't think I was worthy of being seen. In my mind, I was so convinced that there was so much just fucked up with me that I wasn't worthy of the attention of those around me outside of those who I allowed to get very close with me. And even then, I was still pulling my punches as a means of self preservation. And I know a lot of us live as sometimes as prisoners in our own minds. And when you fall into pits of depression, you think isolating is the answer. You think that's going to help. Oh, I just need time by myself. I need time to figure this out. But if you're not actively making an effort to try to figure things out by writing or doing some sort of artistic expression, you are allowing yourself to just be eaten alive by your own thoughts. And once you spawn a thought of, oh, there's something wrong with me, and then you go and interact with somebody and you notice like a little, like they react strangely to something you say, your brain is so quick to go, aha, see? They thought that was weird, so I'm weird. There's something wrong with me. I knew it, and then that just starts to turn to concrete. those neurons start to solidify, and then you start making that a true belief of yours, making it even harder to break. But you can break these chains of thoughts and these negative core beliefs by challenging them. And I'm not the positive affirmation type of, I got a mirror right behind me. Yeah, right there. Where, if I stand in the mirror and say, you're strong, you're brave, that doesn't do anything for me. Because to some extent or another, I know I'm strong. Physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, by going through the Rolodex in my mind of experiences of times that were very tough. That, I thought the world was, closing in on me and everything was just going to fall apart. And I persevered. I may have been crawling on my way out of that pit, but I got out of the pit. And coinciding with that, there's a very good quote that you don't become confident by shouting affirmations in a mirror, but by having a stack of undeniable proof saying that you are who you say you are. And I think affirmations are like a cozy blanket. It feels good to put it on, but it doesn't really do a whole lot for you, especially in the long run. Or it's also like a Band-Aid. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a gaping wound. You need something more serious to cover up or to patch up and heal a gash on your arm. You can't just slap a Band-Aid on it and expect everything to be okay. And I spent so much time in this pit of feeling like I was the only fucking one just suffering. Like, I was absolutely miserable, and all I wanted to do was die, and I don't really know why. I kinda do. I was so overwhelmed with everything in my life, the shortcomings, the failures, the feeling like I was failing people, letting everyone down, and it was just hanging around my fucking neck. And dying would solve all that, in my mind. If I died, then none of this would be a problem anymore. It would just, everything would just go away with the wind. Until I put myself through a really, really rigorous and demanding thought experiment, that I really start to plant the seeds of my own value. I spent 3 days in as much detail as I could imagining my own suicide, in full detail, what it would do to my family, what it would do to my immediate friends, what it would do with my coworkers, and the aftermath. Because I work in a pretty tight-knit area. We've all worked there for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, so we all are very familiar with each other. My closest friends range back 16, 17 years, and it was stressful. It was really fucking stressful. I was on a roller coaster of emotion, and when I concluded that thought experiment, I'd come to the conclusion that as much pain as I'm in, as much as this suffering hurts, and as much as I cannot see a way out of this, doing that would be far worse on everyone around me. 'Cause I've seen firsthand what the death of a child does to a parent. It destroys them. They're never the same. Whether the kid dies at 12 years old or 24. No parent should have to bury their own kid. It's absolutely heartbreaking to see. And I decided that I would push through. Or I would get dragged through. I would fucking get through it. No matter what. And saying that reminds me of, now I was kind of connected the dots on something I heard in one of those psychology lectures, and someone was in the audience was talking about how miserable they were, how cursed they'd felt, to feel things so deeply. And the lecturer replied to them, "The only way out is through." That struck something deep with me, because killing yourself is the easier option. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. It is. But the world is far better with you than without. And even though you might be around people who aren't very emotionally intelligent or aren't fully capable of expressing to you just how much you mean to them, the hole that you would leave would absolutely destroy people. And it's June. It's 1:30 in the morning right now, and at June 11th, we're in Men's Mental Health Month. And we know that the statistics on suicide for men, and it can get better. It will get better. But you have to try. You have to start looking at yourself as someone that's worth giving a shit about. Then and only then, I believe things can begin to change.